This video covers a project ring that has several different components, including advanced surface modeling to create the surface of the ring, followed by the gem on a curve tool, metal piece, mill grain builder, pave in version 6, and then just a little fancy way to put some cutouts on the inside of the ring. So it's going to be divided into sections based on what you'd like to learn, but to begin, we'll create the surface. To do so, let's go to the View menu and start with the Picture Frame tool. We can then go find the picture of the ring. Okay, and when you place this with Picture Frame, you're placing one edge of the picture. So make sure you have Shift down, and that'll draw it out in straight lines. Now place the ring rail, and you can move the picture because we've used Picture Frame so that it's aligned with the ring rail. So just click and drag it till it's about at the middle of the ring rail. You can also scale it down in a way you can't with Place Background Bitmap. So grab the Scale tool, Scale 2D, and just scale this so that it's just about 2 millimeters past the finger rail, just about the size you want for the thickness of the ring. To create the profile, we're going to go to the Curve menu and grab the Single Line tool. I like to use the Quad-O Snap and the both sides option to make sure this is going to be on both sides equally of the finger. So pull it out to about the thickness you want for the ring, keeping in mind that this picture is actually tilted almost at a 3/4 view. Next, let's complete the profile with a small area on the side of the ring, mirroring this. And also with just the point at the top of the ring. Now, a good way to get this is with the point command. Place it right at the quadrant there. Something else about the surface menu, if you notice, I'm sorry, the picture frame tools, you can grab the surface easily by mistake. So I like to put on the lights layers when I don't use a lot and just lock it. Now I can do stuff like select this little point without getting the surface. We can move this from where it's located now to a distance of 2 millimeters away. And now using the line command, we can finish up. Line command and .0 snap. We can finish up this profile here. Okay. Now if you need to, you can turn off the lights layer. We also don't need this little guy anymore. Okay, the next order of business is to fillet the corners of this profile. Let's use the fillet corners command. Grab the polycurve to fillet, press enter. We'll use 0.2 millimeters. Okay, that won't work unless this is joined. So go ahead and join it up. Now I use fillet curve. 0.2 millimeters, enter. And now let's rebuild this curve. Go ahead and preview. See how it's different from one side to the other? We want to make it evenly mirrored. So we'll hit OK. Then we'll just split it down the middle. Split with this curve. Delete one side and mirror the other side. That'll ensure join. We have a polycurve, but that'll ensure everything's joined up properly. Okay, we can mirror this to the other side of the ring, F4, Shift. And now we have two profiles all ready to go to build the curves for the rails. However, we're going to need these later on because we're going to do some fancy stuff to this surface, and we want to make sure we have a good copy of these profiles to use later. So it's a good time to job bag everything anyway. Now we'll just grab these profiles, run duplicate in place, and put the copies, doesn't matter which ones, onto another layer color and just turn them off. Okay, just don't forget they're there. Another thing you can do is to grab them and just put them in a job bag. Okay. make sure you have a copy for down the line. All right, let's create the shape for the top of the ring. Again, using the line tool, we're going to snap this near the profile at about the middle of that straightaway there and draw it out past the end of the profile. Rotate and copy this, F4, Shift, and click. Okay, and now using blend, you can blend a nice S shape between these two curves. That's going to get us the top of the ring. Join all three of these, and then offset the curve to both sides. You can go ahead and use the through point option, and you can visually see where you want this to end. Don't place it off the profile. Okay, you want it touching the profile right about there. Okay. Now we have the shape for the channel at the top of the ring, and we need to make the shape for the side of the ring, or the pave surface on the side. I'm going to use the arc direction command. Start again nearby with the near O-snap, and also turn on the intersection O-snap. And as I hold down Shift, I'm going to get the intersection O-snap when I hit the profile curve. So just stop there with a left click, and then draw this in to just kind of a gentle curvature for the side of the ring. We can look at our picture again and make sure we're getting it. Pretty good. Okay. We can mirror this, F4, Shift, and click. And everything should touch because we mirrored the profiles. But if you want to make sure, grab all the rail curves and the profiles and run the intersect command. Okay, and we should get intersections right where all the rails and the profiles touch. Intersections, good, good. Okay, we're all ready to go. Now if you want to get rid of those points, just hit undo, or you can use select points and delete them. Okay, let's save this off to a job bag. And let's look at the through finger view of this ring. In the tools menu, we want to grab the outside ring rail tool. We can just use the default, this egg-shaped profile, and click on start. And that's going to give us a side thickness of 2 millimeters. Okay. You can decide how thick you want the ring at the top, maybe 3.5. Press enter. And now, with the curve from two views history command, we can start to create the rails for this ring. Using this red rail on the outside rail, we've got one of the channels. Oops, and it goes all the way to the bottom. I'm so clumsy with that tool. Full equals false. Grab one of the channel sides and the outside rail, and run that again with the other channel and the outside rail. Oh. I just got finished telling you how clumsy I am. Okay. Run that command again, full equals false, with the pave surface and the inside rail, and the same thing on the other side of the ring. Of course, you could mirror those two, but okay. Now remember that you want the rails and the profiles to touch, and these do not. So we have to do a little fancy footwork here with our profiles and our outside rails. So to begin, let's take the two curves, the red curves, and the two profiles, and run the intersect command. This is going to give us point objects right where they cross, giving us a place for us to snap the curves to, so we have an exact location. So go ahead and run intersect. Okay. And the green curves are the ones, the green curves on the top here are the ones we're going to try and fix. We're going to do that with the orient 2 points command found in the transform menu. Start that up, and your two reference points are the ends. Turn off some of these extra snaps. The ends of the rail, end and end. And your two target points, or where you're going to move this to, are the point and the point. Just make sure you pick them on the same end in the same order. Enter to end that command, and just delete the extra one. And now we move that, and it has been bumped down a little from our original height, but that's okay. We're going to move the other one. Orient 2 points from the end to the end, and the point to the point, and delete the extra. Okay. Let's job bag this. Okay. We don't need these flat curves anymore, so we'll put them onto gray and turn them off. We also don't need the point objects. We're all done with those. So same idea. We'll grab them all, select points, put them onto gray, and they'll be turned off. Now we're ready to sweep the profiles, sweep the rails with the profiles, but the profiles are still single curves here. So we want to split them with the rails. So split with green. Two curves split into 4 pieces. Okay, we actually need them to touch, and again, they're not touching, so we can do the same trick we did before on those inside pair. Look at that, so close. That's not very nice. It's real important that the rails and the profiles touch end on end so that we get clean modeling. So we're just going to go ahead and run the same sort of operation we did before. Select the points and delete them, and we'll make some new points. The ones we want to make points out of are the ones that match the curves that are no good. Okay, so we'll run an intersection with yellow and blue. Intersect. Okay, there's those little points appearing. And the curves to orient this time, orient 2 points. Now be really careful when you do this. You have to grab the end and the end. Okay, see how close they are to other things? Just zoom in and make sure. And then move them to the point and the point. Enter to end the command. Oh, look how close they are. And delete them. Do the same thing on the other side of the ring, just to make sure. So we're going to run orient 2 points from the end to the end, and the point on the same end, point to the point. Again, just a tiny, tiny bit off. That's what can make or break you. Set everything back onto gray and turn it off, including your point objects. Don't need those anymore. Now let's try splitting the yellow. Split with the green. Great. 4 on each side is what we want for the profiles. Perfect. Okay. Let's job bag this version. It's a little more healthy than our last one. Grab a metal layer color and we're ready to sweep. The sweep to command between the 2 rails and the profiles that they touch. Okay. Sweep 2 again between our 2 rails and our profiles. Sweep 2 again between the rails and the profiles that touch them. Okay, and sweep 2 one last time for the inside of the ring. For the rails and the profiles that they touch. Okay, let's shade that up and see what we did. Ooh, pretty. I just meant to shade it with the shade. That was an unexpected surprise. Okay. There he is. So let's grab all those surfaces and join them together. And we can jet bag this guy. Okay, to finish off the bottom here, I'm going to bring back my orange curves. Let's show you where they are. Okay, we're going to run sweep 2 along the bottom of the ring rail with our orange profiles. Make sure your seam points are good. And sweep. And now, as you can see, we have a really even bottom, and it just matches that sort of little peak at the top of the profile. What it does not follow is the twisting at the top of the ring, and that's a good key point to make here. Okay, we're going to jet bag that, and we're going to back up to this version here before we pull the orange profiles out of the job bags. I'm going to just take this ring, just show you the alternative here, which is to dupe the edges, and then you get 2 borders. Okay, we're going to run our sweep 2 again along the bottom of the ring with our 2 new curves. Set the seam points and sweep the ring. Now we're going to flip this over. Whoa, excuse me, I didn't mean to make anyone seasick there. And you can see there's a little bit of twisting in this surface. Let's actually slide it over and set out the other one. There's our working shade mode. But you can see that because we created those curves from the surface, okay, you've got a little weirdness going on in your surface, which you don't have over here. Okay, so that's why I duplicated those profiles ahead of time, so that I wouldn't have to rely on the surface, which I knew would be twisty and interesting and give me some pretty strange results. Okay, we can still join these together into one closed poly surface, both of them, so you have the option of the twisting, strange shape on the bottom here, or sort of the more normal, regular one. There's your little ring, and he's all ready to go for some gems. So the next video is going to cover placing the gems, the milligrain, the pave, etc.